Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, thank you so much for watching today and don't forget to subscribe. So for this video, I wanted to talk about the egg donation process, how I felt afterwards, and like my recovery and everything, because there was a lot that went into it that I really didn't expect. Not that they, like the agency or the company that you work with doesn't tell you. There's lots of tools to like let you know what could happen and like worst case scenario, best case scenario, all of that. But until you go through it, you just, none of the reading materials or videos or whatever like really mean anything. So I have a couple of vlogs like throughout this process. There's one like back in October when I had my initial visit. There's a couple like recent ones that I did when I went back to like for the appointments to get my medications, and then the retrieval week. So if you guys want to go back and watch those, absolutely do that. They're not vlogs like dedicated to that thing, but there's a lot of like the egg donation process within those vlogs. But what I really wanted to talk about was how I felt after the procedure and like the recovery part, because I had a really hard time. So when I first started, the only main difference was like being on birth control. I don't like being on birth control. It doesn't make me feel great. It makes me tired and extra moody, and like I'm already pretty hormonal around my period and stuff. Like I'm very sensitive like to hormonal changes in my body. So birth control like wasn't my favorite thing, but whatever, it's something you have to do and that's fine. Then taking the injections, I was fine there too. For the first week or so, you're taking just 2 injections, 2 medications, and I felt totally normal. I had energy, I felt like myself, everything was great. Then towards the end of the week or a second week or something like that, you add a 3rd injection. And once I started adding that one, I felt so tired, so nauseous, like really short of breath, would get lightheaded easily. I just wasn't feeling good, and I hate that. I'm a really active person. I like to lift weights 6 days a week, do some cardio and walk my dogs and like be very productive around the house. I like to feel good and have a lot of energy so I can get a lot accomplished in a day. And I felt like I just couldn't do anything. Also, you're not allowed to work out, like do any intense workouts. Weightlifting is definitely off limits. High intensity training is definitely off limits. You're allowed to like do some cardio and like walking and things like that, which I did. I could have done more, but I just felt so tired. I did not feel like myself, and that was probably the biggest struggle for me. I also use like weightlifting and intense workouts to de-stress, like a place to put my anxiety, a place to just like, you know, get the endorphins going and just feel really good. And to have that taken away for like a little over a month, that was hard. So for anyone else that's watching this that is really into fitness and uses it as like a way to de-stress the same way that I do, that could be a little bit hard. You kind of feel like a couch potato, and I hate that feeling. So that was a really big struggle for me personally. But if you're a person that that's like not an issue for, then you'll be totally fine. But I couldn't imagine like having a full-time job 9-to-5 situation and like being on these medications and like doing all these appointments and the travel and stuff. I feel like that would be really hard. Okay, so moving forward, I'm in Houston. It's retrieval week. Like I said, there's a vlog about that the entire week. And just feeling really tired. Also, without the working out, and like you have like money for food every day and things like that, and I was in a big city. I live in a small town with not a lot of options, and when I was in the city, I was in Houston, there were lots of restaurants, lots of things to do. Being there, I took advantage of the vegan restaurants and all the options there. So that really didn't help because I wasn't choosing the healthiest stuff, and I was already putting my body like through a lot of stress and on a lot of medication. So I really should have been eating healthier than ever and making sure to do a little bit of cardio every day and like get my body moving. But I was so tired, and I was fully taking advantage of the restaurants around me. So that definitely did not help. I am doing another donation in a couple months. So I will make sure to stay active and eat super healthy as I can through that one, and hopefully that'll help with my moods and helping me feel better. So let's move forward to the retrieval day. That was December 18th. That's when I had the procedure. And going in, I felt great. I didn't really get nervous until right before they were about to put me under, because I've never been under before and I was a little bit scared about that. But they give you some pain medication and then you feel great and you're like, yeah, do whatever you want. Okay, so waking up from the procedure, you're definitely uncomfortable. I mean, right when you wake up, you don't know what's going on, so you can't really feel anything then. But once you start like waking up and like figuring out your surroundings and everything, you can definitely feel the cramping in your ovaries. It's kind of like a really bad period. I have really bad cramping during my period, so it kind of felt like that to me. So nothing like unbearable. Then you leave the hospital to go back to your hotel. My husband and I actually picked up food on the way back. I'm gonna tell you guys now, if you are donating your eggs and you're there for retrieval week, most likely they're gonna put you in a hotel that has like a refrigerator and kind of like one of those, I was at one of those like home 2 suites where they have like the microwave, the sink, the dishwasher and all that stuff. And I should have done a little bit of grocery shopping before, because you are not gonna want to leave for like that day and the day after, and actually that 3rd day too. That was really hard for me as well. Anyway, make sure that you have like snacks and food like already at the place, or you have Postmates or something on the way so it's there right when you get back, because you need some food to take your pain medication, and you're not allowed to eat or anything the night before, so you're gonna need some grub. But that's just like a little side note, like a little tip that I wish I would have done before coming back to the hotel. So that first day, I was in so much pain. I was so uncomfortable. Also, they gave me like something with codeine, Tylenol with codeine, and that gave me the worst migraine I have ever had in my life. I had a cold rag over my like head and eyes the entire day, and I had to turn the brightness down on the TV, make sure everything was closed up. Like, I couldn't even look at my phone. I was so nauseous, mostly from that damn migraine. Sorry, it was so bad. And then I kept taking that medication because my ovaries were super sore and I was super sore, and just everything was so uncomfortable. But that was making my headache worse. That was really the worst part about it, was the migraine, because then that was making me nauseous and that was making me feel even worse. And my pain was just like refocused to my head, and then also a little bit in my ovaries, and I was super bloated. It was a lot. Thank God my husband was there, because he had to help me get up and out of bed, go to the bathroom. He had to get me food, get me water. Oh, also a good tip, bring a heating pad with you. A heating pad is a lifesaver. On the way back, we stopped at a Walgreens and got a heating pad, and I am so happy that we did that, because that was really helpful. Also, going to pee for the first time after the procedure is very uncomfortable. Your ovaries are normally the size of walnuts, and after this procedure, they're the size of grapefruits. So everything is pressing on your ovaries. Your bladder, your bowels, like everything is pressing on them. So much pressure. There's also a ton of fluid down there. So your ovaries are just like, every movement, they're like banging around. It was brutal. But going to pee was so uncomfortable for me. I couldn't sit down, because when you're laying down, the fluid kind of evens out. If you get up too fast and get out of bed, it is extremely painful. You have to get up slowly, like inch by inch, let the fluid settle for a little bit, then put your legs over the side of the bed, stand up very slowly, let the fluid settle a little bit more, then go to the bathroom. And even then, I couldn't sit back down, because then the fluid was moving again and all the pressure was on my ovaries, and it was very tender. So I just held my husband's hands, like he was holding me up, and I just straddled the toilet and like peed standing up. There was no other option. So thank God for him. You really need someone you're comfortable with to take care of you. So that first, after the procedure, that day was really hard for me. I was very uncomfortable. I could not sleep. The pain medication wasn't working for me, and I was so nauseous. Okay, so day 2 after the procedure, so this was December 19th, I woke up that morning still very sick, very hungry. I really couldn't eat too much because I was just so bloated and big. Also very constipated, so you're gonna want to get some stool softeners or something to help you like have a bowel movement, because that adds to the pressure that's like happening all in the lower part of your body. It's a lot, you guys, a lot is going on. So I woke up, and this is awful, but really the only thing that I could like eat and like keep down at that point were like these vegan marshmallows. So I just would like I would eat like 3 or 4 marshmallows and like some toast or something like that. And I took my pain medication. Well, that didn't cut it the second morning, and I threw everything up. Tried to eat again, take more pain medication. That resulted in nausea and another headache. So at that point, I contacted my director and the nurse that I've been working with at the clinic, and I went back for an appointment and was seen by the doctor. He was the best doctor I have ever encountered in my life. His bedside manner was amazing. All morning I was in pain. All morning I was just super frustrated. I didn't know what was going on, why I was having such a hard time. And when he came into the room, I could tell that he was like a caring person, and he asked me what was wrong, what he could do, and I just broke into tears. I was like, I'm sorry, I haven't had any sleep, I'm so emotional. And it was also like, I felt like he was going to help me, you know, like when you're in so much pain and you're finally in front of someone who's gonna do something for you, it is such a relief. So I was crying and super upset. They were also asking me if I could do a vaginal ultrasound. The nurse had asked me before he came in, and I was freaking out. I was like, no, 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 there's no possible way I could do that. Like anything touching my ovaries right now was just, the thought of it was like, it made me panic and start to cry. But he talked to me for a while, and he was so soothing, and he was so comforting, and he was seriously just amazing. He was like, now can we do like a gentle ultrasound? And I was like, okay, like so nervous. I was so scared and like so tense, but I was just trying to breathe, and I was out loud going, ooh, ooh, just to keep my body relaxed. The ultrasound did not hurt a bit. He was just the best. And everything looked good. And then he took the time to explain to me and my husband what exactly I was going through, what exactly my body was looking like on the inside. And that way I had a better understanding of nothing's wrong, nothing went wrong, your body's responding how it should have, and everything's gonna be fine. I just needed that reassurance because I was kind of freaking out before because I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't sleep, and it was just really taking a toll on me. He switched up my pain medication, gave me something a little bit stronger without codeine, because for some people, I think the Tylenol with codeine affects your brain. He gave me a pain medication that does not do that, and that was a lifesaver. He also prescribed me a medication for the nauseousness that I was feeling, nausea, and that was also a lifesaver. The combination of the new pain medication and the medication to not be so nauseous was so helpful. The medication for the nausea makes you really drowsy, and that helped me sleep. And then the pain medication took away the headache and like the throbbing in my ovaries. So I'm so glad I went back to go see him. So the day after your procedure, if you really feel like you're in a lot of pain and you don't know what's going on, just the reassurance of going to see the doctor and going back to the clinic was so helpful for me. I don't know that all clinics will be that understanding or like do such a great job, but it's worth a shot. So after the appointment, after we pick up the new medications and everything, I actually had some errands to run, which, like, what the heck, why were you running errands? But I had ordered my husband a wedding ring at the Galleria. That's where I was staying, like in that area. And it was around Christmas time, and that was like the one place I needed to go. Anyway, I ordered him a ring, and I had to go back to the Galleria like a few days before Christmas, the week before Christmas. It was crazy. The lady that helped me at the jewelry store was awful. I left the store crying. I was just an emotional mess. I should not have done that much after that appointment. And then we ran to get food, and like we were in Houston, all the streets are super bumpy. It was awful, you guys. I was in so much pain, so emotional, so moody. But finally back at the hotel, took the pain medication, got some food in my system, slept like a baby, and I was so grateful for that. I still needed help getting out of bed. I was still in a pretty good amount of pain going to the bathroom. But by that third day, by the 20th, that was the day that we were flying back. We were originally supposed to fly back Friday the 21st, but they switched our flights and moved us up early. I really wish they wouldn't have done that, but I don't have any control over that. I was not in any condition to go to the airport and fly and like deal with all the people and everything. So I just took pain medication and took the medication for the nausea and tried to get through it, but I totally had a breakdown at the airport. You're just so sensitive, and you go from injecting yourself with all these hormones and all this estrogen and everything, and then you have your procedure, and then you're taking medications, and like your body is just going through it. And I really had a hard time with that. We get back, and I want to talk about like the next week or two and how you're still affected by this whole procedure and the medication and everything, even like 2 weeks afterwards. So when we got back, I was home, back into the swing of things. I really only had a couple of days at home, and then we were heading back to Texas, driving to go be with our family for Christmas. But when we got back, I was very emotional. I felt very depressed. I felt like, I don't know how to explain it. I just felt completely like lost, not myself at all. I would just randomly burst into tears. My husband had made me dinner one night and I was eating it. He looks over and I'm sitting on the couch like with a bite in my mouth, like crying, and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know." My moods and like mental state was just all over the place. Not to a point of like suicidal depression, just like, you know, what now, like just so down. I felt so anxious. I just wanted to crawl out of my skin. I did not like that at all. I hated it. Like I said, I'm normally an active, happy, productive person, and I was the exact opposite of that at the time, and that's what was making me like so down. Also, I still couldn't be active. I was still really tender, and I had to like unpack, repack, drive all the way 10 hours to Texas. It was a lot in a very short amount of time, and I just didn't really handle it very well. Just did not feel like myself. So probably a good 5 to 6 days after the procedure was like the first day that I started feeling like I could move a little bit more. I was kind of like back to myself, and because before that, I wish my husband was here to vouch, because I was just kind of like a shell, like an unhappy shell of myself and an emotional shell of my former self. And it was not enjoyable for him or for me. But 5 to 6 days afterwards, I did start feeling like myself again. And what's today? Today's January 3rd, and yesterday was the first day that I like had a more intense workout. I felt great, totally back to normal, and today's like the first day I'm gonna go back to weight training, and I'm very excited about it. And today is like the first day that like I started my period. I'm back to normal again, and I just feel like myself again. But it did take nearly 2 weeks since the procedure day to like fully be back to myself and where I was before, and that is such a good feeling. But then I have another donation starting in the next couple of months, so it's upsetting to know that this feeling is short-lived. But going into this next one, I know what to expect. I know how to prepare. I know to like, you know, what pain medications to stay away from and like which ones I need. Like I know what to do this time, so I don't think that it'll be as bad. I'll know what to expect. I will know what to do when my moods change, because I'll know what's coming. This last time, it was my first time doing something, and with any first experience, you just don't know what to expect. You don't know what you're going through. So this next time, I know that I will deal with it a lot better than I did this last time. Overall, I'm really appreciative for the experience, and I am looking forward to doing it again for the family, not for like everything that comes with it, all the travel, all the medications, like the procedure, the recovery. I'm not really looking forward to that, but I did commit to another family that is very excited to have me be their donor, and I'm excited to donate to them. So this will be my last one. I don't plan on doing a third one as of now. We'll see how the second one goes and where my husband and I are at in our own like decisions on starting a family. So yeah, I think that's everything. I'm sure this video is very long and a lot of rambling, and I hope that I got everything across that I was trying to. If you guys have any questions or anything, please comment below and I will answer those. And share this video with anybody that you know is an egg donor or planning to do egg donation and needs a little bit more insight from somebody who's done it. before they start the process. Again, overall, I'm very happy that I did it. There's a woman out there right now that is hopefully going to be pregnant soon and like bring a baby into this world. And I know that she is going to be so excited about that. And I can't wait to hear if it was a success. Oh, I also meant to say that there was 18 eggs retrieved and 17 of them were viable and healthy and like good to be fertilized. The doctor I saw after the procedure, the one that I was raving about, he told me that I'm what they call a quick responder. So somebody who responds really well to the medication, have very healthy ovaries, healthy eggs, and that is exactly what they want for this type of process and what I want to hear, because I also want to be a mom someday. So I'm happy to know that everything looks good and I should not have a problem with that. So yeah, I think that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe and share the videos. And I will see you guys in the next one.